I got big revenge on cheating ex-girlfriend. Hey, true story. First off, let me say I love your channel, man. I found it late one night when I was up scrolling YouTube, trying to distract myself from some nonsense in my personal life. I watched one video, then another, and the next thing I knew, it was 4 a.m. And I was sitting there like, dang, these dudes really be living soap operas. Never thought I'd be writing in myself, but here I am. My name's Miles, and let me tell you about the time I got some sweet revenge on my cheating ex-girlfriend. Spoiler alert, she still has no clue I was behind it. Now buckle up, because this story has a lot of twists, turns, side quests, and a few laugh at my pain moments. How it all started. The friend who was just a friend. I met my ex through a mutual friend of mine. Let's call her Rachel. Rachel is important to this story because not only was she the reason I met my ex, but she also became the reason my ex lost her mind with jealousy. Rachel and I had been friends since high school. And yes, I know what you're thinking. Miles, ain't no way you and Rachel never hooked up. But let me tell you right now, we never did. Never even kissed. We were strictly platonic. Rachel was basically like a cousin I never had. We bonded over dumb stuff like skipping gym class senior year to sit in the parking lot eating Taco Bell or playing Mario Kart until 3 in the morning. You know how some people think every male-female friendship is secretly harboring some sexual tension? Yeah, that wasn't us. We clowned each other too hard for that. Like, Rachel once shaved off half her eyebrow trying to fix it, and I printed out a picture of The Rock and taped it to her locker with the caption, "Eyebrow Inspiration." That's the level we were on. Anyway, a few years after high school, Rachel invited me to her birthday party, and that's where I met her, my ex. Let's call her Jessica. Enter Jessica. Jessica was gorgeous, like the type of girl who walked into a room and you could feel every dude's eyes snap toward her. Long black hair, green eyes, that kind of mischievous smile like she knew something you didn't. The type who made you want to step your game up. Rachel introduced us, and Jessica wasted no time. She slid into conversation with me like she'd known me forever. We were joking around within 5 minutes. By the end of the night, she gave me her number and told me, "You better actually call me, not just text." And I did. I called. We started hanging out, and before long, we were a couple. The honeymoon stage. At first, it was great. You know that phase where everything feels like a rom-com? We were doing all the cliche couple stuff. Late night drives with no destination, splitting milkshakes, arguing over who loved who more. Don't judge me, I was in it deep. She was sweet, funny, and sharp. She had a temper, but at the time, I brushed it off as passion. Spoiler, that passion turned into full-blown crazy later. And of course, Rachel was still around. She and I hung out sometimes, nothing unusual, but Jessica? Oh boy, Jessica did not like that. Jealousy rears its head. At first, it was small comments. Why does Rachel call you so much? Why does she send you memes at midnight? Why do you laugh harder at her jokes than mine? I thought she was joking, but then it escalated. Jessica straight up told me, "You need to choose between me or Rachel. You can't have both." Now, this was dumb to me. Rachel and I had been friends for years. Nothing romantic ever happened, and nothing ever would. But Jessica just couldn't accept it. After weeks of arguments and guilt trips, I gave in. I told Rachel, "Look, Jessica feels uncomfortable, so we should cool it for a while." Rachel wasn't happy, but she respected it. And me? I felt like trash, because deep down, I knew Jessica was projecting. The discovery. Fast forward about 8 months into the relationship. Things started to feel off. Jessica was working late more often. She'd get defensive about her phone. Her energy toward me cooled, while her temper heated up. Then one night I was driving home from work when I saw her car parked outside a sketchy motel. I kid you not, I thought. No way, coincidence. So I parked a little down the street and waited. Sure enough, 10 minutes later, out walks Jessica with some dude I'd never seen before. They were laughing, touching, looking like a couple straight out of a Nicholas Sparks book, and I'm sitting there gripping my steering wheel like it's the last slice of pizza at a party. I didn't confront her right then. I just drove home, sat on my couch, and stared at the wall for about an hour. I was devastated. That type of heartbreak where you feel it in your stomach. But once the hurt passed, anger set in. And then the idea of revenge started cooking in my brain like microwave popcorn. The breakup. When I confronted her the next day, I kept it calm. "Hey, Jessica, how was work last night?" She lied, of course. "Busy. Why?" I hit her with the hammer. "Cool, because I saw your car at the motel." She froze. Then she tried to spin it, said it was just a friend. I laughed. "So you hang out with friends at motels after midnight?" She realized she was caught and went on the offensive. "You probably drove by there on purpose. You're stalking me." Classic projection. She tried to flip the script, but I wasn't having it. I told her we were done. She stormed out, slamming the door so hard my neighbor texted me, asking if I was okay. Cooking up revenge. Now, here's the thing. I could have left it at that. Broken heart, lessons learned, move on. But no. Jessica had embarrassed me, gaslit me, and made me cut off Rachel just so she could cheat behind my back. Nah. I wasn't going out like that. So I plotted. Jessica had this obsession with social media. Her entire life revolved around her Instagram aesthetic. She was the type to spend 20 minutes posing with a latte just to get the right angle. She once dragged me across town because a mural would look good on the grid. So I hit her where it hurt. The revenge act. One of my buddies works at a local coffee shop. Jessica had no idea I knew the manager. I asked him for a favor. The next time Jessica came in, mess up her order. Not once, not twice, but every single time for a month. But here's the kicker. I also started an anonymous Instagram account called Cafe Catastrophes. And what did I do? I started posting pictures of Jessica every time she had one of her meltdown moments at the cafe. Arms crossed, yelling at the barista, rolling her eyes, basically looking like a Karen in training. My buddy fed me the pictures from the security cam, and I posted them with captions like, "Local diva loses it over almond milk shortage." Woman demands refund because latte art not symmetrical enough. The account blew up. People loved it. Within a few weeks, Cafe Catastrophes had over 10K followers. And guess who became the star? Yep, Jessica. She was embarrassed, furious, and completely clueless that I was behind it. She even complained to me about it once, saying, "This account is bullying me." I had to bite my tongue to keep from laughing. The aftermath. Jessica tried to get back with me multiple times after we broke up. Texts, DMs, even showing up at my place just to talk. I shut it all down. But the wild part? She kept trying while also crying about the Cafe Catastrophes account, not realizing I was the puppet master pulling the strings. Meanwhile, I reconnected with Rachel. She just laughed when I told her everything and said, "I told you she was shady." Lessons learned. Looking back, I realized a couple things. If someone tries to control who you can or can't be friends with, it's usually because they've got something to hide. Revenge might not be the most mature path, but man, it can be therapeutic. Platonic friendships between men and women are 100% possible. Don't let insecure partners tell you otherwise. To this day, Jessica still doesn't know I was behind Cafe Catastrophes. Last I checked, the account is still up, and people still share the memes. She probably avoids that coffee shop like it's cursed. And me? I've moved on. I'm happier, wiser, and just a little bit pettier. Thanks for reading my story, True Story. If you decide to share it, I hope it makes someone out there laugh, or at least think twice before cutting off a good friend for a toxic relationship. Follow up. Update on my ex after revenge story. Hey, true story, man. First off, thank you for actually replying and saying you'll get to my email. I wasn't even sure you'd see it because I know you get flooded with the stories every day. When I saw your reply pop up, I damn near spit out my coffee. Felt like when your favorite celebrity likes your tweet, except better, because now I know my tale of heartbreak and pettiness will eventually hit your channel. But here's the thing. Since I wrote you the first time, some new information has come to light. And when I say new, I mean stuff that made me sit back and go, oh, so that's where life took her. You ever get those updates on an ex, and it's like watching a reality show you didn't ask to be part of? Yeah, that's exactly what this feels like. So let me catch you up. The revenge recap, because I'm petty and love the story. Before I dive into the update, let me just say this. I still smile every time I think about the Cafe Catastrophes Instagram page. I know, revenge isn't healthy, yada yada, but man, it was the highlight of my year. Watching Jessica lose her mind over coffee foam while 10,000 strangers roasted her in the comments? Priceless. It was like therapy, but free. And the best part? She still doesn't know it was me. To this day. I could be sitting across the table from her while she's complaining about the haters, and I'd have to chew the inside of my cheek to keep from laughing. All right, now that I got that out of my system, here's the update you've been waiting for. The update Jessica's new lifestyle. So, word on the street, and by street, I mean mutual acquaintances who still keep tabs on her, Jessica has gotten herself caught up with let's call it a bad crowd. And when I say bad crowd, I don't mean she's hanging with people who smoke too many cigarettes or speed down the freeway. No, I'm talking about a group of girls who basically travel city to city selling companionship. Yeah, that kind of companionship. And apparently, this group of girls treats it like some sort of hustle. They'll hit up a new city, link up with dudes through apps, and bounce around hotels like it's a road trip. It's basically the opposite of a bachelorette party. Same chaos, but instead of sashes and tiaras, it's burner phones and cash apps. When I first heard it, I thought, no way, not Jessica, Miss Latte Art to Instagram queen. But then the details started lining up. The late nights, the working late excuses, the shady dudes. Suddenly, it all made sense. How I found out. So here's how it came out. My boy Marcus, who I've known since college, calls me one night. He's laughing so hard I can barely understand him. I'm like, yo, what's so funny? And he goes, bro, you won't believe who I just saw on Snapchat. He sends me the video and there she is, Jessica, in some club 2 cities away, surrounded by a bunch of girls I've never seen before, all dressed like they just got off a casting call for Love and Hip Hop. Motel edition, and Jessica is in the middle, holding up a stack of cash like she just won the lottery. I'm sitting there staring at my phone like, ain't no way that's her. But it was. Same hair, same eyes, same fake laugh I used to hear when she was trying to charm a waiter into free dessert. Marcus tells me, yeah, bro, those girls, they're known for, getting money out of dudes. They're on some city to city type of grind. I almost choked, connecting the dots. The more I thought about it, the more the puzzle pieces fit together. Remember how Jessica accused me of probably cheating with Rachel? Turns out she was projecting because she was knee deep in her own mess. Remember all those late nights she was working overtime? She wasn't making extra money at work. She was networking in ways her boss definitely didn't approve of. It all made sense. And I can't lie, a part of me felt validated. Like, here I was feeling guilty for cutting off my friendship with Rachel, thinking maybe I wasn't being sensitive to Jessica's feelings. Nah, she was just hiding her own dirt. The irony of it all. You know what the wildest part is? Jessica still tries to contact me. To this day. She'll send me random texts like, "Hey stranger, hope you're doing good," or "I miss our talks." Meanwhile, her Snapchat is basically an advertisement for her new lifestyle. I swear the lack of self-awareness is Olympic level. The irony is that she used to act so classy. Like, she wouldn't even drink beer out of a can because she thought it was low class. But now, she's bouncing from city to city with a squad of entrepreneurs, chasing dudes with money. The fall from "I only drink Starbucks" to "Cash app me for a good time" is honestly cinematic. Side tangent, people who peak too early. This whole situation got me thinking about how some people peak too early. You know the type. In high school or college, they're the it person. Best clothes, best car, always the center of attention. But then 10 years later, you run into them at Walmart and they're trying to convince you that their pyramid scheme is the future of wealth. Jessica was one of those people. She peaked too early. She thought she had it all figured out, that she was too pretty, too clever, too above everyone else. But life has a funny way of humbling people. How I feel about it now, you might expect me to be bitter or to laugh at her downfall. And yeah, okay, I did laugh a little when I first saw that Snapchat, but honestly, mostly, I just feel relieved. Relieved that I dodged that bullet. Relieved that I'm not the dude funding her road trips. Relieved that my only involvement is sipping popcorn from the sidelines. It also makes me grateful for my friends, Rachel especially, because she's the one who was always honest about Jessica. She called it from day one. "That girl has red flags, Miles." But of course I didn't listen because I was blinded by green eyes and long hair. Lesson learned. The temptation to expose her. Here's the thing though. Every time Jessica texts me, I'm tempted to drop the bomb. To just say, "Hey, by the way, you're the star of Cafe Catastrophes. And yes, I know about your little traveling circus." But I don't, because the mystery drives her crazier than the truth ever could. Plus, I like having that secret. It's like my own personal inside joke. She thinks she's playing chess, but I've been holding all the pieces this whole time. Wrapping it up. So yeah, true story, that's the update. Jessica went from latte art diva to road tripping sugar hustler, and I'm over here living my best life, working on myself, reconnecting with friends, and laughing every time she texts me like nothing happened. Moral of the story: don't ignore the red flags. Don't cut off good friends for insecure partners. And if you do get hurt, don't be afraid to laugh at the absurdity of it all. Because trust me, some of these stories are funnier than any sitcom. Thanks again for taking the time to reply, man. I really appreciate it. Can't wait to hear my story told in your voice. It's gonna sound even better when you put your spin on it.